I'm afraid of big black dogs. No, it's not a racial thing. In 5th grade on my mom's birthday, January 25th, my neighbors had a black lab named Ben. They were, how do I say this? They were less than classy. We're gonna go with less than classy. They moved away and left Ben chained to the front door. They had lived there for many years. I was very well acquainted with Ben. So, I walk out front. I'm in a long sleeve white shirt. Walked out front to do something, get something out of the car or something before school one day. And I see Ben chained to the door. And I'm like, "Hey, Ben, how are you?" And he looks over at me because he's probably starving. And he growled at me and broke his chain and came and attacked me in my driveway. Grabbed my arm and almost ripped it off. I was 5th grade, so fuck, what is that? That's 10 or 11? And, yeah, he ripped my sleeve off at the elbow. He made me bloody. And I was screaming. And my mom didn't hear me because she was blow drying her hair in the house. So it went on for a couple of minutes until she turned the blow dryer off, ran outside, saw the dog, and in absolutely perfect Theta fashion, my mom's name is Theta, ran back inside, grabbed a baseball bat, came back and chased the goddamn dog down the street. And I know she would have killed it if she got close to it. And I'm not happy about that, but that is a funny story about my mom. She eventually realized that her daughter was bleeding in the driveway, so she came back and took me to the hospital. And I had a chipped bone. I still have a couple scars on my left shoulder. But yeah, so only big black dogs. The fear that people who know me know I'm about to say is extremely irrational. And I have met other real people with this fear, but if you're a nerd like me, you're going to remember Anya from Buffy having this fear. It's bunnies. Yep. Judge me as you will. I'm used to it. That's cool. I don't know why I don't like them. They give me the heebie-jeebies. I'm actually just like a little bit anxious now. And they're everywhere up here. It's like a goddamn Disney movie in Delaware. Everywhere you go, there's rabbits. I don't like them. I don't like them. They're creepy, and their teeth can go through your finger, and they're hoppy, and they're twitchy, and I fucking hate them. Alright, so needless to say, I'm going to go ahead and drink for this category. Alright. So that's the 95 most common fears, according to the Chapman University study. I conducted my own far less scientific study. Just a couple people from work. And weirdly enough, one of the ones that got repeated was tsunamis. What the fuck? We're in Delaware. Tsunamis? 2 separate people at 2 separate times said fucking tsunamis as their very first fear. Moving on. Intruders tied that for first in repeats. But that's a little bit more realistic. I mean, you know, that happens. When's the last time a tsunami hit Delaware? If ever. Moving on. Then people had really specific ones. Like getting hit by another car on the highway. Which, yeah, that'd be fucking terrifying. A couple of these made me anxious in whole new ways. Snakes, which I already told you I love. Death or death of a loved one. Pretty common. Rejection, that's pretty universal. Bugs crawling on you. So not afraid of insects, not afraid of arachnids, not afraid of them at a distance, but afraid of them actually crawling on you. And suffocating or drowning. That one, yeah, that's horrible. My grandmother's actually afraid of water for that very reason. Like, she can't put her face in water. Like, she's not a big swimmer, never was as a kid. And, I mean, she can swim. And she does, like, water aerobics and stuff, but she can't put her face in the water. She can't do it. She's freaked out. One of the more, I'll say, altruistic ones was the fear of not making a positive impact on the world. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's a good thing to be afraid about, especially if you, like, dedicate a large portion of your life to that. That's not a fear of mine. I would very much like the people I love to know that I love them and to be a positive force in their life. But frankly, I know I'm not really probably going to have a huge positive impact on the world, so what's the point of fearing it? Yeah, let's end on a super downer note. One of the people I work with, Eric, who I gave a shout out in the last episode, fears Alzheimer's or dementia or amnesia, basically anything that makes you not you anymore, anything that might make you not recognize your family, which, yeah, that is horrifying. That is immensely freaky. I'm going to go ahead and finish this glass of Fireball for that one. All right, so we got the statistics out of the way. Let's see. I checked Reddit. So Reddit is a gold mine. I don't know if anyone's ever... Well, okay. Just, no. Erase that last thing I said. Of course you've been on Reddit, because it's 2019. It's a fucking gold mine. All I did was search Reddit, irrational fears, and Jesus Christ. There are a few very, very good ones. So I gathered a few of them for us. Here we go. Entwife, that's ENT_wife, 6 years ago said, I fear getting my armpits tickled. I can't sleep with my arms up because I worry that something or someone will creep up and tickle my armpits. The replies were pretty goddamn great. So, Sir Alex Ferguson said, haha, the image of a little man waiting under your bed at night for you to fall asleep and raise one of your arms, then furiously jumping up and just tickling the shit out of your armpits whilst cackling made me laugh. YST said, I suppose I do not fear getting my armpits tickled, because I feel assured that if anyone were to tickle my armpits, or attempt to, I would feed their recently liberated eyeballs to them on a sausage skewer. That's hilarious. That's some intense dislike of tickling. The third response to that was from Muthmuth. Muth. I was sleeping in a hostel a couple of years back, sharing a room with 3 Syrian guys. I was sleeping with my arms clasped above my head, and in my dream there was a pesky swan sticking its head up my sleeve and tickling my armpit hair. I wake up and I can still feel the tickling, and I start fucking thrashing around like a full-on death roll out of the bed while squealing like a pig, only to realize it was just the sheet tickling me under the arm. The looks on the Syrian guys' faces when they started turning lights on was priceless. I really enjoyed that story. This is from Embared. Having a bug crawl into my ear or any body parts while I'm sleeping. Let me tell you a story. I know you were hoping I had a story for this one. So when I was 11, I got my ears pierced. I had them pierced years before, but I would never let my family, turn them or whatever, so they would heal. So, fast forward, I'm 11. I get them pierced for my birthday. Little gold studs with rubies. My birthstone. July 18th. Make a note. So being the dork that I am, I choose not to sleep in my bed that night, but sleep on the floor with my head on my beanbag chair. Why the fuck not? Kids are weird. So I wake up in the middle of the night, feeling something in my ear. You probably already know where this is going, but I'm just going to keep going. So I thought that my earring had come off and was rolling around inside my ear. So naturally I freak out. I run to my mom's room, and I'm screaming, and she finally calms me down and gets me in the bathroom and looks, and there is a click beetle in my ear. I will attempt to find the scientific name for this, but I don't know if they're just a southern thing, but I'm sure someone's going to know what I'm talking about. When these beetles get on their back, if you flip them on their back, they click and they pop inches into the air to flip themselves back over. So this motherfucker was upside down in my ear and was clicking, and that's what woke me up, and was trying to flip itself back over in my fucking ear. Okay. So now you're all probably horrified, which you should be, because it sucked. So by this point I'm screaming, because my mom has now told me there's a bug in my ear. My brother is standing on her bed He had a speech impediment when he was little. He said, "Is Lauren gonna die? Is Lauren gonna die?" Because my birth name is Lauren. So, that's adorable, by the way. But, my mom being a nurse, you know, I'm sure she was totally grossed out, and I'm sure she would tell you that to this day, but, you know, she was clear thinking, and she was like, we're just gonna drown this little fucker in some, rubbing alcohol and pull him out with tweezers. So that's what she did. And when she tells the story, it's actually pretty funny, because she mentions how she didn't want to put peroxide in my ear to drown it because the bubbles would make it freak the fuck out. And when she tells that story, I get totally skeeved. Oh, God. It totally grosses me out just thinking about that little bastard being so angry. So, good call on the booze, Mom. I know it's rubbing alcohol, but hey. Yeah. So that's a fun story. Moving on. Moving on from that horrible story, this is a really funny one. Underscore Vargas underscore. Having an aneurysm and dying mid-fap. First off, I wouldn't want my parents to find out that's how their son died. Second, I have my own place that I share with my dog. It would be at least a few days until someone found me. By then, my dog would have almost certainly consumed my genitals. The responses to this were gold. So, Koala Yummies, great name, said, "Good news! You will have a couple seconds before you pass out. Enough time to power down the computer and zip up the pants. Bad news! You will probably die if you do that stuff instead of call 911. Another response, The Healer of Tri, T-R-I. Knowing me, I'd probably just try to finish my fap and then die. Original poster, me too. I'll go out the way I came in. Screaming, slimy, and with a cord wrapped around my neck. I'm sorry, I just have to... That requires some applause. That's too goddamn funny. Reminds me a little bit of, was it David Carradine? But you know what? That's fine. This name was deleted, but this one killed me. I was looking these up on my lunch break, and I was sitting at my desk, and I'm sure people were wondering what the fuck I was looking at, because I just cackled to myself for a minute about this one. I was afraid of blueberries for the longest time. Not like afraid they would do anything, but seeing them would give me a jump scare. Once they rolled out of a pancake that I thought didn't have blueberries. Scared the crap out of me. That shit went on until well after college. I'm pretty sure it had to do with that movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I watched it when I was like 6, and I wasn't the same after that, blueberry-wise. Violet, you're turning violet, Violet. That killed me. Just your average goon. Bears. It's irrational because I live in a city and will probably never meet a bear head on. But fuck, I have seen The Revenant, no fucking thanks. The reason I picked this one is because the reply was so goddamn savage. PB_blimp. Bears can run, swim, break into houses, and climb trees. There is no escape. You should be scared. That's exactly what you want to tell a person with bear fear. Way to go. This one started off like, why the fuck would you be afraid of that? But at least it was like, I don't know, I could at least see someone being afraid of it. The last sentence got me, though. This is Signore Reddit. I get very nervous and scared when I see the portion of a large ship that sits just underwater. The hull? Also bird feet! What vastly different fears. And if those are your two irrational fears that you choose to put on the Reddit, the subreddit, I mean, what is your life that those are your two irrational fears? I don't understand. Dr. Death said, ninjas. And then Chunky_ninja replied, it makes me sad when people fear me. I eat when I'm sad. It's a vicious cycle. I'm saying lighthearted things because I'm about to talk about horribly haunted things. Mindless Savage. Enablophobia. The fear of looking up. It sounds so silly, but you don't understand. Wong7777. I have a fear of guinea pigs turning rabid and coming to eat me. Yes, that's right. No, I don't think there's a word for this phobia. And then a guy 49. I'm terrified of all kinds of bees, more so bumblebees. For a while when I